Every morning you wake up with dreams burning inside you, but by nightfall they're buried under fatigue and regret. What if the biggest threat to your future isn't failure, but the tiny choices you make every day without even noticing? There are habits quietly stealing your time, draining your focus and killing your potential from the inside out. These are the silent destroyers of growth, hiding in plain sight. Once you see them, you can't unsee them, and once you break them, your life will never be the same. If you're tired of living on repeat, this is where the cycle ends. In the next few moments, you'll discover the hidden habits silently ruining your progress and how to break free from them forever. 1. Quit procrastinating. You must understand this. Procrastination is not a harmless delay. It is a silent thief that robs you of your destiny. In the quiet moments when you push aside important tasks, something profound is happening. Your potential is being siphoned away, drop by precious drop. This isn't mere postponement, it's a surrender of possibility. Every time you say, "I'll do it tomorrow," you place your dream in the hands of time, and time is indifferent. It doesn't wait, it doesn't forgive, and it never returns. The minutes cascade into hours, hours into days, and suddenly years have passed with your greatest ambitions still waiting in the wings. These accumulated delays aren't just lost moments. They represent the compounding interest of unrealized potential. The people who built empires, industries, and legacies didn't wait for perfect circumstances. They created them. Take Thomas Edison. He didn't sit and wait for inspiration to strike like lightning. He worked with what he had every single day, chasing the glow of his vision in the dark. His relentless experimentation, trying thousands of materials before finding the right filament, illustrates the power of consistent action over sporadic bursts of motivation. If you keep putting off the very things that will make you great, you will wake up one day surrounded by regrets, not results. The tragedy of procrastination isn't just lost opportunity, but the haunting awareness of what could have been. Action is the cure, not planning, not preparing, not perfecting, but beginning. The momentum generated by starting, however imperfectly, creates energy that propels you forward. What seems insurmountable before beginning often reveals itself as manageable once in motion. Discipline is the bridge between dreams and achievement. It's the daily decision to honor commitments to yourself, especially when motivation wanes. You already know what needs to be done. Deep down, beneath the rationalizations and excuses, clarity exists. The path forward isn't obscured by lack of knowledge, but by reluctance to face temporary discomfort. You don't need more time, you need more courage. Courage to begin right now while others hesitate. Starting before you feel ready separates the exceptional from the ordinary. Success doesn't come to those who wait, it comes to those who start. It rewards the initiation of action, not the intention. So the question is, will you continue waiting for the right time, or will you decide that now is the time? This moment, imperfect as it may be, holds all the potential you need to begin. Your choice today determines your reality tomorrow. Choose action and watch as doors that once seemed locked begin to open before you. 2. Quit fearing failure. What if I told you that every successful person you admire has failed more times than you have tried? The fear of failure is a mental prison, and you hold the key. We construct these cells brick by brick with each what-if of doubt, each memory of past disappointment, each projection of future humiliation. Yet the door remains unlocked, waiting for the moment you recognize that failure isn't your enemy, it's your teacher. The world does not remember the number of times someone fell. It remembers the one time they rose and stayed standing. Abraham Lincoln lost election after election. He failed in business, faced personal tragedy, and suffered depression. But he refused to quit. Why? Because failure didn't frighten him, it fueled him. This transformation of perspective, from seeing failure as terminus to viewing it as transit, distinguishes those who achieve greatness from those who merely dream of it. When Thomas Edison was asked about his thousands of failed attempts to create the electric light bulb, he famously remarked, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." Each unsuccessful experiment narrowed the field of possibilities, bringing him closer to the solution that would illuminate the world. When you fear failure, you hesitate, and hesitation is deadly. It paralyzes your progress, poisons your passion, and numbs your natural instinct to create, explore, and grow. But failure is not the end. It's data, feedback, redirection. This knowledge, bought with the currency of failure, becomes the foundation for future success. If your dream is worth having, it's worth failing for. The magnitude of your aspiration should outweigh the discomfort of your setbacks. Embrace the fall, because it's only by falling that we learn how to rise. Each setback builds resilience, refines technique, and develops the mental fortitude required for lasting success. So the next time fear whispers, "What if you fail?" smile and answer, "Then I'll learn, adjust, and try again better." That simple shift transforms failure from burden to ballast, grounding you in purpose while freeing you to navigate toward your highest aspiration. 3. Quit negative self-talk. You are always listening to yourself. The question is, what are you saying? Most people lose the battle in their own minds long before they ever step into the arena of life. The words you speak to yourself, even in silence, become the script of your destiny. If you keep telling yourself you're not good enough, eventually you'll stop trying. Think of the mind as a garden. Every thought is a seed. Positive or negative, it will grow. Are you planting weeds or flowers? When you change your internal conversation, you transform your external circumstances. Self-belief isn't arrogance, it's a responsibility. Because if you don't believe in your dream, why should anyone else? As a man thinks, so he becomes. That wasn't just philosophical musing, it was practical truth. The stories we tell ourselves filter how we interpret events, opportunities, and challenges. Your thoughts are not passive observers, they're active creators of your reality. Begin today with a simple shift. Replace "I can't" with "I will figure it out." Swap "I always fail" with "I'm still learning." These aren't affirmations, they're recalibrations of your mental framework. Speak power into your life, because ultimately, the most important conversation you'll ever have is the one you're having with yourself. Your inner dialogue is the architect of your destiny. Every word you whisper to yourself plants a seed. Some grow into doubt, others into continence. You are either constructing a future of limitation or one of liberation with every mental exchange. Most people speak to themselves in ways they wouldn't tolerate from a stranger. They replay past embarrassments, magnify their flaws, and shrink their hopes under the weight of imagined failure. But here's the truth. Your subconscious mind is always listening, and it obeys without question. It does not filter sarcasm or separate fear from reality. It simply accepts repeated thoughts as instructions. So when you constantly feed it with, "I'm not good enough, it's too late," or "I never get it right," you are programming your potential to shrink. But when you feed it belief, grit, and relentless positivity, it begins to build that belief into your emotions, decisions, and behaviors. Repetition is the key. You didn't learn self-doubt in one moment. It was conditioned into you. The same is true for confidence. To believe in yourself is to retrain your mind daily. Say it even when you don't fully feel it. Write it, visualize it, act in alignment with it. Eventually, the feeling catches up with the action. And one day you'll wake up no longer needing to convince yourself because you'll have become the evidence. Guard your self-talk as if your future depends on it, because it does. Replace self-criticism with self-coaching. Shift from "why me" to "why not me?" From "I'm not ready" to "this is my training ground." From "I failed" to "I'm refining." These shifts are not semantics, they are soul strategies. They reshape your identity. Because the world doesn't just respond to talent or luck, it responds to certainty. People follow confidence. Opportunities are drawn to those who radiate belief, but no one will invest in a dream you're still doubting. So stop selling yourself short in the marketplace of potential. You don't have to be fearless to begin. You only need to believe that progress is possible. Speak that belief into every challenge. Let your internal monologue be one of courage, patience, and fierce self-respect. Your future self is listening. Feed it strength today. 4. Quit surrounding yourself with toxic influences. Your mind, like your environment, must be cultivated with purpose. The people you allow into your world are either watering your growth or draining your roots. Iron sharpens iron, but rust corrodes silently. Examine your circle not with emotion, but with vision. Are your companions pulling you toward excellence or anchoring you in mediocrity? Every high achiever has outgrown relationships that no longer serve their calling. Loyalty to your potential must outweigh loyalty to your past. This isn't abandonment, it's evolution. You don't need to explain the pruning of your garden to those who never intended to bloom beside you. The truth is, you cannot reach the summit while dragging those who are content with the valley. Surround yourself with minds that challenge you, uplift you, and mirror back the greatness you've yet to fully believe in. Greatness thrives in the soil of aligned associations. Choose wisely, because energy is contagious, and the company you keep becomes the blueprint for who you become. Your environment is not neutral. It is a force constantly shaping your identity, influencing your beliefs, and either reinforcing your ambition or eroding it. Every conversation plants an idea, every interaction deposits energy, and every relationship either fuels your purpose or fogs it. The people closest to you are not just companions, they are collaborators in the architecture of your mindset. So ask yourself, are they builders or are they bulldozers? The harsh truth is this: many never rise because they're chained to comfort disguised as loyalty. Old friendships, familiar circles, comfortable connections. But comfort is rarely a catalyst for greatness. Growth often demands separation, not from love, but from limitation. From environments that celebrate average and conversations that mock ambition. From patterns of behavior that pull you back just as you begin to step forward. This is the quiet crossroads every achiever faces. The moment you realize that who you were surrounded by yesterday may not be aligned with who you're becoming tomorrow. It's not about arrogance, it's about alignment, because your dream is sacred and it deserves protection. Your vision is fragile in its infancy. It requires a greenhouse, not a battlefield. This doesn't mean severing all ties in bitterness or isolation. It means shifting your center of gravity. It means spending less time defending your goals to those who don't understand, and more time cultivating them with those who do. It means making room for mentors instead of doubters, for peers who hold you accountable, not back, for alliances that spark evolution, not excuses. Evaluate your circle as critically as you would evaluate your business partners or your investment opportunities, because your time, your energy, your mind, these are your most precious assets. And anyone who consistently devalues them, who laughs at your hustle or dismisses your hunger, is a liability to your future. Seek out those who are walking their own path of discipline and elevation. You will know them not by their words, but by their presence. They move with purpose. They speak in possibility. They challenge you not because they doubt you, but because they believe you're capable of more. These are your people. This is your environment. And when your circle is filled with aligned minds, your world shifts. You rise without resistance. You speak your dreams without fear of ridicule. You push further, aim higher, and begin to normalize the extraordinary. Because in that space, excellence is not an exception, it's expected. This is how you protect your potential, by choosing proximity with precision, by building a fortress around your future, brick by brick, soul by soul, because the summit isn't reached alone, but only those willing to climb should be trusted with your ascent. 5. Quit comparing yourself to others. The moment you measure your value against another's progress, you hand your power to a stranger. No two souls carry the same burdens, the same timing, or the same calling. Comparison is a silent poison. It stifles creativity, breeds resentment, and blinds you to your own blessings. You were not designed to trace someone else's outline. You were born to draw your own masterpiece. Each step on your path, no matter how slow, is a seed of progress. And progress, not perfection, is the secret to enduring joy. Rejoice in your small wins. They are not stepping stones, they are the foundation. Keep your eyes forward. What others achieve does not limit what you can create. When you silence the noise, you hear your intuition. When you honor your journey, You invite the abundance that was always waiting for you, not as a copy, but as an original. Comparison is the great thief of peace. It distracts your spirit, distorts your timeline, and dismantles your self-worth, piece by piece. The moment you turned your gaze to someone else's lane, you abandoned the power of your own. You weren't meant to match paces. You were meant to set your own rhythm. Your value doesn't diminish just because someone else shines. Their light does not dim yours. The sun and the moon both exist, and neither apologizes for its brilliance. When you compare, you reduce your journey to a scoreboard. And life is not a competition, it's a canvas. And each brush stroke, every setback, every small victory, every quiet effort unseen by the world adds depth to your masterpiece. But when you start painting with another's brush, you lose the vibrancy that only you can bring. Your voice is unique, your pain is personalized, your process is divine. You were not born to echo, you were born to express. The path of another may look smoother, faster, even brighter, but you don't see their burdens. You don't feel their battles. You don't carry their cost. Every timeline has a hidden toll, and you weren't built for theirs. So do not envy what was never meant to be yours. Celebrate it, if you must, but then return to your own mission with doubled resolve. The greatest achievers are rarely the fastest starters. They're the most persistent finishers. They know that staying true to their path, even when it's lonely, uncertain, or slow, is the only way to reach a destination that truly belongs to them. Stay focused, stay grounded. If you must compete, compete with your past self. Win by becoming more disciplined than yesterday, stronger than last week, wiser than the year before. Do not chase someone else's success. Build your own legacy, rooted in your values, designed by your dreams, carved out by your own sweat and scars. Because nothing feels more hollow than reaching the peak of a mountain you never wanted to climb. And when doubt creeps in, as it always will, remind yourself, the race is not against them. It never was. The only finish line that matters is the one you draw, the one that fulfills your calling, not their expectation. You are not behind. You are not late. You are in alignment. And the moment you surrender comparison is the moment you reclaim power. Your journey is not about being better than anyone else. It's about becoming everything you were meant to be. Authentic, unapologetic, unrepeatable. And that is something no one else can offer the world. 6, quit overcommitting. Your time is the currency of life. Spend it with intention, or watch it vanish in the hands of others' demands. Every yes given in fear of missing out, of displeasing others, or of appearing less, steals from the work that truly matters. You must become ruthless with your commitments and gentle with your energy. Saying no is not selfish, it is self-respect. It is the declaration that your dreams deserve space. Mastery is not built through scattered effort, but concentrated power. Choose to excel in a few worthy pursuits rather than drown in obligations that dilute your greatness. True freedom begins when you realize that your worth is not measured by how much you do, but by how much you focus on what truly counts. Every overcommitment is a silent agreement to sabotage your excellence. It's a pact with distraction that disguises itself as productivity. And in a world that celebrates hustle and busyness, it's easy to mistake movement for progress. But motion without direction is chaos. The clock ticks the same for all, but only those who guard their hours fiercely will ever command their future. You must learn the sacred art of selective focus. Not everything that asks for your attention deserves your presence. Not every invitation is an opportunity. Not every request is yours to fulfill. You are not obligated to dilute your mission to quench someone else's thirst. Protecting your time is not an act of defiance. It is a declaration of value. Excellence is rarely found in a cluttered calendar. It is found in depth, not breadth. It's built in the hours of undistracted creation, in the sacred silence where real work is done. The world does not reward the man who is everywhere. It celebrates the one who shows up where it matters most. Focus is the gatekeeper of power. And when you do say yes, let it be with full conviction, not out of guilt, fear, or habit, but from a place of clarity. Because every time you say yes to something unaligned, you are saying no to something essential. You are spending your most precious asset, time, on what brings no return. Busyness is a badge the exhausted wear with pride, but it is not a sign of value. It's often the armor of those who fear stillness, who haven't yet found the courage to choose. Real power lies in the pause, in the space between request and reply, in that breath where you ask yourself, does this serve my vision or simply stroke my ego? There is wisdom in restraint, in silence, in pulling back so you can dive deeper. The highest performers, the clearest minds, the fiercest leaders, they are not defined by how many roles they juggle, but by how masterfully they perform the roles that matter. They don't chase everything, they dominate what they choose. If your schedule owns you, your goals never will. So create margin, guard your mornings, honor your energy, build your boundaries, not as walls to shut others out, but as frameworks to elevate your mission. You weren't born to be everyone's solution. You were born to become something extraordinary. And extraordinary doesn't happen in chaos. It happens in clarity, the kind of clarity that only comes when you dare to say, no, not now, or not this, or I appreciate it, but my mission requires my full presence elsewhere. Reclaim your time, and you reclaim your life, because every hour spent out of alignment is a delay in your becoming, and every decision to protect your path is a step closer to greatness. Say yes to less, but when you do, let that yes come from the depths of your vision, backed by undivided action. That's not withdrawal, that's strategy, that's power. 11, quit dwelling on the past. The past is a teacher, not a destination. What has happened cannot be changed, but what you do with what has happened defines your character. Regret is a heavy chain, but you hold the key to release it. What lesson lies in that failure? What strength did you gain from that heartbreak? These are not wounds, they are wisdom wrapped in pain. Let them teach you, then move forward. Cling to the past and you lose today. Harness it and you sharpen your future. Every great triumph was once tangled in setbacks, but those who rose refused to remain in yesterday. They understood the only moment that can be shaped is now, and it is now that your new story begins, not rewritten, but reborn. The past is a mirror. Use it to understand, not to imprison. Look into it, not to mourn what might have been, but to learn what must now be done. Life does not move backward, and neither should your mindset. Yet too many walk forward with their eyes locked on rear-view regrets, dragging a version of themselves that no longer exists. The truth is simple but powerful. You cannot drive your destiny while staring at yesterday's wreckage. Mistakes were made, opportunities missed, words unsaid, bridges burned, but they are done. The only power they hold now is the power you give them. And if you keep feeding your energy to the past, you starve the present. The very energy that could build something remarkable gets trapped, reliving what cannot be undone. Greatness demands that you break the cycle, that you rise from the ashes with a deeper understanding of who you are, that you take every scar and see it not as proof of your failure, but as evidence of your endurance. You survived, you grew, and now you must use that growth to forge the next chapter, not lament the last one. Consider this. Every powerful story has a turning point, a decision where the hero stops running from pain and starts transforming it. The fire that once burned you now becomes the forge for your strength. The heartbreak that shattered you sharpens your empathy, your wisdom, your depths. Nothing is wasted, not if you choose to alchemize it. Let go of the illusion. cling to the familiar is to reject the very engine of your growth. Growth demands discomfort. That discomfort is not punishment, it is preparation. The unknown is not to be feared, but explored. Every leap into the new builds the muscle of resilience. Every pivot a chance to evolve. You cannot become who you are meant to be by staying who you've always been. Just as rivers shape the land through constant motion, you must allow change to sculpt your destiny. Flow forward. Let go of certainty. What you gain in return is unshakable clarity. The life you desire lives beyond the borders of your current comfort. Change is not chaos, it is construction. It tears down what no longer serves you to make space for what will. Yes, it brings uncertainty, but it also brings access. Access to strength you've never used, to paths you've never seen, to parts of yourself you've never met. When you embrace change, you declare to the world and to yourself that you are not finished evolving, that you are willing to outgrow, outlearn, and outlast who you were yesterday. Don't fear the shifting ground beneath your feet. That's the sound of your foundation deepening. Real transformation isn't about staying safe. It's about becoming unstoppable. Success is not a secret. It's a system, one built on daily discipline, clear vision, and relentless belief. Build yours. Begin now.